Welcome to Commodity Classic and the Bayer Ag Forum. And we're here with Kyle Tom, a farmer from northern Indiana, whose farm is quite notable within the state and really within the country. And Kyle just participated in a program that talked about advocacy and technology and innovation in agriculture. An interesting juxtaposition between two things we often don't think are related, but really are. First of all, let's look at the innovation side. Tom Farms has always been a farm that has a reputation for being innovative, and you guys are doing some things with soil sensors, particularly monitoring your water. Now, water's been a big story in northern Indiana, much of the early part of 2018. Tell us about what you're doing and how you're expanding the soil sensors and measuring the water that you need in your fields.
So in 2017, what Tom Farms actually did was we had 2 soil probes that we stuck in the ground in an irrigated area. And we saw a benefit of it because we decided, you know what, that soil holding capacity is much larger than we initially thought. So we didn't have to run our irrigations near as much, and that reduces our footprint on using of energy and uses of water. And so we expanded it this year to 50 sensors around various fields, and so that way we can lower our energy usage and keep more water in the ground.
And certainly this is an example of how innovation and technology can help farmers manage their bottom lines, increase that profit margin with the operation of the farm.
That's correct. The main thing is we have to look at our bottom line. Crop prices are low right now. So how can you do anything that's going to make your bottom line higher? So you want to make sure that it's a lot lower in any given situation.
Okay. Now, to take it to the advocacy side, water usage, irrigation is an issue in northern Indiana where we have a lot of farmers who tend to irrigate, and a lot of people say, gee, what are you doing to my groundwater? What are you doing with my well water? How does this kind of technology and innovation that you're adopting help you tell the story of the environmental responsibility of farmers in northern Indiana and their irrigation systems?
So with these sensors that we actually have right now, they're actually looking at nutrients also in the soil. So if I can verify that our nutrients are staying in the soil and not going into lakes and streams, then I can put that out there and say to my neighbors, to a lot of the people that live on the lake, say, I'm not polluting the lake, I'm not polluting lakes and streams. So that's mainly what we want to do, because it doesn't make us any money if it's in the lakes and streams. It makes us money if it's in the field. So that's the main thing what we're trying to do.
Okay, another innovation that you talked about was a software innovation that's helping you collect and analyze the data on your farming operation. Talk about how, and I know that your dad was one of the pioneers in that, and the Tom Farms has been very involved in using big data, as it's called, for many years. Tell us about how that has changed and helped your operation.
So in the past, we used to have spreadsheet upon spreadsheet upon spreadsheet. So, and now with this new technology, this software that we have, we can bring everything in-house and just really maximize our profitability by narrowing down usage of certain chemicals in the field. If we have different fields that are not performing, we can drop those fields because it doesn't make any sense to continue to keep farming them if they don't have the revenue stream. So we need to look at minimizing our outgoing costs and make sure that everything is brought in-house and flowing through our books seamlessly.
And you said you had like 13 layers of data that you could sort through to analyze what's going on.
So what we're looking at is all of the prescriptions that we put in the field. So we're using variable rate on every single thing that we do. And so we've got 13 different layers that we put on layer over layer over layer, and we can look at it and say, okay, well, we've got higher nutrient soils over here, so we're going to increase our seeding population. And over here, it's non-irrigated, it's doesn't perform near as well, so we're going to minimize the seeds going in there. And we know exactly what that costs, and it all comes down to the bottom line.
Okay. Now, how do you use big data? How can this kind of data analysis help you advocate for agriculture, to talk about what you're doing on your farm and how that benefits the environment?
So everything that we do, affects the environment, it seems like. So what we really want to make sure is everything that we do, we are advocating for the farmer. Everything, whether it's seeds or chemicals or nutrient health on the soil, is very important to the farmer, and we need to make sure that the general public understands that.
Okay. Now, another aspect that's unique about Tom Farms is that you are truly an international farmer. You have farming operations in the Southern Hemisphere. Going forward, and this is a trend we're seeing more and more in agriculture, you've got U.S. farmers that are investing in foreign countries in terms of farm development. You've got other farmers in other countries that are investing in the United States. As a global industry, which agriculture is, from an international standpoint, how do you see this continuing? How is this globalization? How is it going to change agriculture going forward?
It's going to be very interesting going forward in the next 10 years. But what we have to look at is trade and the infrastructure that we have behind that. So trade is our number one competitor, because the trade agreements that we have going to Europe or anywhere affects our bottom line. And so we want to make sure that our trade partners are on the same page that we're on. That way everybody has a win-win situation, and everybody will benefit from it.
Go back to the innovation side of it. It used to be the United States was the leader in innovation, but now you've got big U.S. companies and foreign companies becoming international innovators and spreading that innovative technology from border to border around the world. How is having the kind of innovation that American farmers have enjoyed and will continue to enjoy available in other parts of the world going to impact agricultural production worldwide and the U.S. farmers' competitive position in that market?
I always think American farmers are always going to be competitive. We've got it in our blood. We're farmers, so we're always looking to have the best genetics, the best chemicals, the best ground. But looking over in Europe and Ukraine and either southern into Mexico and Argentina, they've got very good ground down there, so they're very competitive too. But USDA has to make sure that our crops are being able to go to other countries and be sold and for free trade.
Okay. A lot of talk here about productivity and sustainability, and the question was raised, and it was an interesting one, is how do we in American agriculture, and in agriculture worldwide for that matter, strike that balance between being productive but yet being sustainable at the same time?
That's a tough question. Just because you're busy, just because you say you're busy doesn't always mean you're busy. So we need to make sure that we're sustainable and we have a sustainable product here in the U.S. that we can trade in other countries.
All right. Well, Tom from Tom Farms, thanks for joining us here at Commodity Classic for Hoosier Ag Today. I'm Gary Truitt.